It's the Daytona 500 Sunday, 2:30 Eastern, only on Fox and your Fox Sports app. The Chiefs, of course, won their second Super Bowl in 4 seasons, while Patrick Mahomes picked up his second regular season MVP. Hard to believe that was less than a week ago. Right now, Fox Bet Sportsbook says Kansas City, the favorite to win it all again next season. The Ringer makes the case that the Chiefs can be the NFL's next great dynasty, and they're only getting started. Shannon, jump in. Do you agree?
I do. Skip, I just saw a photo of what Tiger Woods handed Justin Thomas, and it wasn't a candy bar. I'm just going to leave it at that. They're already a dynasty, Skip. There are only a handful of teams that's going to be in contention every year, and it normally starts with the quarterback, and they have the best one in the game. And, you know, what is this, their 5th year? So 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. So in a 4-year span, they've been in 3 Super Bowls, they've won 2. I think that would qualify. Now, sustainability is going to be something. Now, obviously, the Patriots, what they were able to do from 01 to 18, 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 wins. That's the greatest dynasty in football. And then, you know, the 49ers from 81 to 94, they went to 5 wins. Steelers, they went to 4 and 6 years, Skip, with 4 wins. But I think when you look at it, Skip, you look at what they've been able to do, the most wins in a team 5-year history. The Patriots from 2003 to 07, they won 76 games with the Super. What they have I had 2 Super Bowls in there. Kansas City 75 with 2 Super Bowls in there. So I think when it's all said and done, I think we'll look back and see, yeah, they had a little mini dynasty. And considering, Skip, they've done it with only Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Chris Jones of the core players that were there with the first ones are the only core players that's still there. So they've done it with a very totally different roster, than what they did with the first time. But I think they're dynasty, Skip. I really do. That quarterback, his contract runs through 2031.
Yeah.
Skip, you realize he'll only be 36 years of age? Do you know how far that is? And he'll only be 36. And you know the way the guys are playing now, Skip, they're playing into their 40s. Yeah, man. I see bad things on the horizon for the NFL. Only Sean Payton to the rescue can save you, NFL. You better hope. And Rex Ryan.
Could be. Could be Kellen Moore with the Chargers.
Well, why did he do that with the Cowboys? He got a dodge. You say, whew.
He did his part.
So are you blaming someone else?
Still having flashbacks to CeeDee Lamb running wide open and misfire. Michael Gallup running wide open and misfire. Kellen Moore schemed it up. He put them in position. He put my quarterback in position to win a game at San Francisco that they lost pretty pathetically.
Didn't Jerry tell you the coach wasn't on the hot seat?
That's what he told me. That coach is going to be calling the plays. Good luck to me next year.
Yes.
All right. I must admit, I'm getting a little sick and tired of the Kansas City dynasty talk. Wearing on me a little bit.
You got 5-6 more years of this.
Okay. I do remind you, though, you did not pick the Chiefs going into this year.
I didn't.
Okay. And we repicked mid-year, whenever it was, and you didn't pick them then.
Nope.
So you had 2 shots at it, and you said no to the Chiefs.
Nope.
And then this past Sunday, this is just me because I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I watched Jalen Hurts, I believe, outplay Patrick Mahomes. Patrick was 13 of 14 in the second half, but they were all dinks and dunks because it grand totaled to 93 yards passing. They ran the ball for 115 yards, did the Chiefs in the second half. But Jalen Hurts did everything but win the game because he made one completely uncharacteristic, out-of-the-blue, shocking, dumbfounding mistake. He just lost the handle on the football, and it was a 14-point swing because it felt like they were on the move to go up 21-7. And all of a sudden, it's a scoop and a score, and it's 14-all.
Yep.
It's hard to climb out of the hole that you dug for yourself, even though it looked like they were climbing out of it because they got up 11 at halftime, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to remind you, I've been doing this for a long time. The dumbest single column I ever wrote in my column writing career came after Pittsburgh's 4th Super Bowl win out here. I believe it was at the Rose Bowl. It wasn't at the Coliseum. I think it was at the Rose Bowl. It was their 4th one. So they're 4-0, 4 rings. Our
6
man,
years.
Terry Bradshaw. Okay. And he had gone bombs away to
John Stallworth.
Do you remember this at the end of the game? And I can't remember if Lynn Swann had a big game or not. He had big games against my Cowboys. But the point was, they looked invincible. And they had a bunch of young players that were going to freshen them up the next year, whose names I can't remember because they didn't.
No.
Whoever they were. And so I write this whole piece about get ready for it, live with it. We're just going to have to deal with these guys for the next 4 or 5 years because it felt dynastic. It was 4 was dynastic enough.
Right.
And you know what happened right before it's almost like that Tampa Bay syndrome after they won it in 2020. Let's run it back. And all of a sudden, right before your very eyes, wait, he's getting old. Now, he's not the same.
They wasn't getting old. They got old.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You know, what year was 79? That would have been Mel Blount. I think Mel Blount came out in 69? So he's already. And then Joe Green was 10 years, and Terry was like 10 years. I mean, Joe Green was like 11 years. I think Mel was like 12 years. So
Franco and Rocky Blyer, they're just getting up there.
Everybody got old at once.
Okay, and right before your very eyes, they were no longer the Steelers.
Nope.
And all of a sudden, they fall on hard times.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so it happens. And I'm not saying, because Patrick's, I agree with your point. He hasn't really even entered his prime yet.
No.
He still feels like a young player to me. And so I've watched him in 3 Super Bowls, and he hasn't had a spectacular Super Bowl yet. He was somewhat lucky to win the first one because he threw a late third-quarter interception, an early fourth-quarter interception, and Jimmy G went Jimmy Gag in the fourth quarter. Somewhat lucky, even though Patrick was tremendous in the fourth quarter. The second one against Brady at Tampa, he stunk. And then the other night, I did think he got outplayed in the biggest picture by Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So he has yet to throw for 300 yards in any of those 3 Super Bowls. Okay, well, you can make that case. He hasn't done it yet because maybe he hasn't entered his Super Bowl prime as of yet. But I'll remind you, Brady, he threw for 300 plus 4 times in Super Bowl games. One was 500, one was 400 plus against Carolina, and twice he went over 300. So he's got 4 of those, and Patrick's 0 for 3 trying to throw for over 300, which is what we think of Patrick Mahomes. He's a 300-yard game passer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's been in the 2s all 3 times. Is he going to take it up a notch? Will they continue to build around him? He gave them a team-friendly deal that will allow a little more cap flexibility.
Right.
And Brett Veach seems like he's a star.
Well, I think and the thing is, you have Kadarius Toney, who's only going to have a larger role in this offense. Obviously, I think Andy and Brett Veach have done a great job. They understand that, look, we don't want everybody to come back. We got to infuse the talent that we have, some of the old veteran guys, with some new, fresh blood in here.
Okay.
So I'm not going to be.
Didn't they have 5 rookies? I think 4 started, but 5 contributed.
Yes.
Well, that's highly impressive.
And Skip, last year, Creed Humphrey, they drafted him, and he turned out he's one of the best centers in football right now.
Well, I could have told you that because he played at the University of Oklahoma, and he was just a star as a freshman.
Yeah.
Because he was a wrestling champ in Oklahoma, which is known for its wrestling. And he doesn't look the part. He's a bad body center, but you can't get by him.
You can't.
You can't get by him.
And then the question is, what do they do with Orlando Brown? He wants to be the highest paid left tackle. He has a very compelling case now because he pitched a shutout.
All right.
Hassan Reddick or Sweat, Brandon Graham, none of them laid a hand on Patrick Mahomes and put him down when he had the ball in his hand. So he has a very compelling case. He's going to want upwards of $20 million a year, Skip.
He just might be worth it. To guard that Hope Diamond?
Absolutely. That's what he said. He said, my job is to make sure Patrick Mahomes stays safe.
Okay. So you look at the biggest picture, and Patrick's entering his prime, but what will happen in the West? He has owned your division. He's 27-3 against your division. That's why he's played 5. Is it up to 5? Yeah,
5 AFC Championship games.
5 AFC Championship games at home?
Yep.
It's impossible. It's never happened before because it can't. But it will if you go 27-3 against your division. I think Sean Payton and your Broncos will have something to say about that. Maybe next year, definitely the next 3 years.
Skip,
okay?
I'm looking at this list, Skip, for the most wins in a 5-year history. Do you realize the Patriots are on here 3 times? From 2003 to 2007, they had 76 wins. From 2014 to 2018, they had 74 wins. And from 2010 to 2014, they had 70 wins. Skip, you're never going to see this again.
Okay? That's the Patriots.
Skip, I mean.
All right? Patrick Mahomes has yet to play a single road playoff game. He's 10-3 in the postseason, but he's not won one game on the road because he hasn't had to. Brady had to win 7 out of 11. He was 7-4 on the road.
But Skip, if I'm a boxer and I don't have to go anywhere, I got the belts and I can make $30 million and I got to break and everybody, why am I going?
You just wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, again, you could be right, but this league, of all the leagues out there, this is the most cutthroat competitive league there is. And because of the reverse order of the drafting, all of a sudden, it's just hard to stay on top.
And you know what it also, Skip? In basketball or baseball, they'll trade their best players. And they'll trade them to another team. They got a bunch of best players already on it. In football, there was no way the Patriots are trading, or I'm not trading you a top wide, because people thought Randy Moss was on his last leg. That's the only reason they were able to get him for, a 4th-round pick or whatever they got him for. But in basketball, they just traded Kevin Durant to a team they got Devin Booker and Chris Paul on it. Or you feel free agent. So that doesn't happen in football. You're right. It doesn't happen like that in football.
No, it doesn't. Well, you've got the bragging rights for now, and they do too, and they are bragging.
They didn't do the bragging.
They are boasting. They are chest
But
beating.
you ain't say that last year when Joe Burrow was out there smoking cigars. And they talking about Burrow land. You ain't had no problem with that. Eli Apple talking about go home. He was doing all this talking.
I had a problem with Eli Apple. I don't know. Joe Burrow lights up when he wins.
Yeah, but my homeboy said, our rebuilding year, we the champs. So imagine when we come back 45 next year. That's what he said. And then, they got tried. They got my nephew out there he got 2-3 more years in his sweet spot. Ain't no telling what he might do.
I got 2 words for Kansas City. Sean Payton. That's what I got.
No, I want you to say Dallas Cowboys so they can put something on y'all.
No, I'm not saying that. I can't say that.
Skip is not going to jinx his team. If anything, Shannon,
they're unjinxable.
Reverse
Again, I remember a time, they're unjinxable. This team is unjinxable.
I overestimated my quarterback.
After 7 years, you overestimated
my quarterback. I'm sorry, I did.
I am ready for the new NFL season to start.